course, that, we're back a long ways. I was a lawyer, King Dean's back in, I don't know, 40s, 50s, and one of the things that you learn is you see a need for certain things that are deficient. And legal aid was something new then. It was getting started, and there wasn't too much about it. And so it was just something that there was definitely a need for more understanding of it, more support of it from the legal associations, and so it was just a way of serving.
To provide legal assistance for those residents of Story County, Iowa who are financially unable to procure the services of an attorney in accordance with such standards and guidelines as the Board of Directors may hereafter establish.
At that time, we had a county bar association, a fairly active one, and there was always concern about providing legal services to those who could not afford them. And there's a system that had been set up where, as I recall, there was a rotation between law firms each week. So 1 week, firm A would take all legal aid calls, and next week, firm B would take legal, etc. And the legal aid calls came into the city hall here in Ames, and at that time there was a full-time operator. So anybody that called in that week and had seen a number in the phone book and said, I need some legal services and I can't afford them, she would then call the law firm that was designated that week to do that. Well, as you can imagine, this didn't work very well. Somebody would call a firm and the firm would say, well, we have a conflict and we can't serve them, or we just are too busy this week to do that. And it was just not a good system at all.
We remember the struggles and successes which make up the history of legal aid. As we look over the years from 1974 to the present, we see extraordinary people who contributed to the growth and success of Story County's legal aid through their gifts or time and expertise to fulfill the purpose of which legal aid was founded. We offer appreciation to all whom have served on the legal aid staff and board, as well as those who have made this all possible from the start.
That's where it was, in the basement of the old courthouse. When I was the attorney, it was an attorney and one assistant. The secretary, the receptionist, everything. And there were no electronics other than maybe an IBM Selectric 3 was the only electronics we had, and a telephone. So that was it. And we were really glad to see in later years that legal aid was able to add additional attorneys. But when you only have yourself and another assistant, it's very difficult to take days off. It's difficult to do anything but breathe legal aid, and the people who you represent deserve this.
Over the course of 40 years, staffing has changed, locations have changed, other legal aids have folded into Iowa legal aid, but our mission has stayed the same, to provide the less fortunate of Story County with access to justice.
When this organization was formed back in the 70s, there were a number of other county-based and regional legal aid organizations that also existed. And over the years, as funding streams changed, and particularly as federal funding became available, most of those organizations folded together into what's now known as Iowa Legal Aid. Our organization has remained separate, and I think we're really unique in providing the services that we provide under the model that we use, which is basically a law firm model.
The most important part of our history are the legal aid clients. They are the reason legal aid was formed and exists today. Their struggles in the face of poverty, mental and physical disabilities, and their determination reminds us daily of the critical need for legal aid services. Our professional legal services help clients regain some stability and feel safer.
We provide comprehensive representation to our clients. We sign an attorney-client contract when we start representing them, and we stick with them throughout the whole course of their case. We don't give advice over the phone. We don't tell them how to fill out forms for themselves. We are their lawyers, and we stay with them until their case is completely finished and has been resolved in the court. One of the goals that I've had as director has been to make sure that clients recognize the quality of services that they're getting. And I think that the quality of services that Ralph was providing in a basement with no windows was probably excellent too, but sometimes perception of the office is important, and especially since we meet with clients here so frequently, it's important to have that perception of us as real attorneys providing high quality services.